So good morning, I'm Chris Cox. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Apiture. Apiture is a digital banking company. We serve community and regional banks and credit unions across the US market. So this morning I want to do a little bit of vision casting and share some food for thought around the future digital banking experience and hopefully get you as excited as I am about what that future is going to look like. So digital engagement is critically important for all businesses in today's market, including financial institutions. I think that's an obvious statement in 2023. You can find all kinds of research that highlights the importance of digital customer experience as it relates to customer satisfaction and customer retention and customer lifetime value. But I found this one stat to be most illuminating. So did you know that 55% of consumers would be willing to change banks for a better digital experience? So that is a call to action for financial institutions, and it's potentially terrifying in our ultra-competitive market for customers and deposits if you don't have a clear-eyed view of what's important both today and tomorrow as it relates to the digital banking experience. So in my world, which is the digital banking world, there's naturally a lot of focus on digital engagement. That's really all we do, right? Our job is to give our clients the tools they need to engage with their customers through digital channels. And we've seen significant innovation in the digital banking space over recent years, and that will only continue to accelerate. I think what seemed to bankers in recent years, a confusing swirl of technology buzzwords and things you must do now or risk getting left behind, is finally starting to coalesce into some real-world applications. And that's because some of the big technology concepts that we've been reading about for the last few years are finally starting to be commercialized. So one of the technology headlines that grabbed our attention recently is a blog post that South State Bank published in April of this year, which seems like eons ago in technology time these days. But they ran an experiment to see if they could use AutoGPT to help raise deposits. So AutoGPT is an application that's designed to make ChatGPT semi-autonomous. So instead of the normal kind of prompt and response mechanism that you're used to in ChatGPT, with AutoGPT, you just give it a goal and you watch it go to work. It programs itself. So the bank gave AutoGPT a list of product descriptions and interest rates and some other performance metrics, and it gave it the goal of raising $2 million in new deposits by generating an email campaign. So on its own, AutoGPT created the email content and sent emails out to prospective customers. And the emails included links to allow those customers to transfer funds into South State Bank. So through numerous iterations, AutoGPT by itself tested the responses to the email, automatically adjusted the email content to be more personalized, to have a more clear call to action, and even in some cases, on its own, introducing time-based offers to make customers more likely to move money into South State Bank. South State claims the experiment worked, and they actually generated $2 million in new deposits. So we're not sure if the technology really works as well as they said. And for sure, there are many hurdles the bank would need to get over before they move this out of experimentation phase. I mean, would you really let an autonomous bot write code and connect to the internet using real customer data? Probably not, at least not yet. But the point is, this technology is becoming real and is creating the potential to fundamentally change how we interact with our customers through digital channels. So when I think about the future of digital banking, I think you have to start with a vision. So where do you want to end up as it relates to serving your customers? And then you work backwards from that vision to implement technology over time to make the vision a reality. I don't think it works the other way around. I don't think you can just cobble together a bunch of cool new technology and hope you get somewhere beneficial. You start with a vision. So let's think about a vision of where digital banking is going. And I want to start that discussion by looking at where digital banking is today and see how we can reframe it into a vision of what's coming in the near future. So I want to start by comparing two very different online experiences. So the first is Google search, which is something we're all very familiar with. It's a simple, elegant, yet powerful user experience. The form is the function. The user directs all of the activity with one single search bar. And all of Google's investment is in the search function and the advertising function that underlies that very basic user interface. Now, if you contrast that to a typical digital banking experience today, so this could be online banking or mobile banking, typically what you see today is a very complex user experience. It's a very rigid, sort of form-guided experience. And I joke, the entire bank is only 14 clicks away. I'm not meaning to knock this, right? This is the business that Apiture is in today. And we are very proud of our user experience design. And by the way, what you see on the screen here, this is not Apiture's solution. This is somebody else's. I think ours is much better. I'm a little bit biased, but I think ours is better. But you can't minimize the fact that this represents decades of innovation and investment that's required to take the physical bank and turn it into a digital bank. And that's important, fundamental innovation that we had to get through. But my point is, the digital banking experience doesn't have to stop here. So what if we thought about digital banking as something like a ChatGPT prompt and response interface? So if I want to do something, I just simply type in what it is that I want to do. I can get done exactly what I need to get done when I need to get it done. So we sometimes refer to this as on-request banking. So this requires all of the same banking functionality and complex interfaces that underlie today's digital banking experience. It's just a drastically simplified user interface. And to be clear, I'm not just talking about chatbot for support, but actually enabling banking transactions and banking activity through this simple prompt-based user interface. So let me show you a couple of examples of what I mean by this. And by the way, as Greg mentioned, Apiture is going to be demoing a working version of this solution later today as we continue to help our clients see what's coming next in terms of the future technology. So what you see on the screen is exactly what I talked about. It's a simple prompt. In this example, I've typed in something like, how much money do I have? And the response is just a list of my accounts with the balances. Here's another kind of basic information request example. So what if I wake up this morning and I want to know what my credit score is? It's not something that I care about every day, but I care about it this morning. What if instead of clicking through a whole bunch of menus to find my credit score, I could just simply ask in whatever language is most natural to me, what's my credit score? So in this example, I not only get my credit score, but I also get some links to some actions I can take to improve my credit score. But this can go beyond just simple information requests. So in this example, my financial institution is helping me see something that's going to happen in the future. So there's some machine learning applied here. But again, based on a simple prompt, so I've asked for something like a daily briefing or a snapshot of my financial status. The response I'm getting is some comfort that I'll be able to cover my upcoming expenses, something my financial institution knows about. So those are just some examples. There's, of course, all kinds of new technology and new capabilities that would need to be in place to make a solution like this possible. And I'm not going to read through all these things on the screen. We could probably spend hours talking about each of them. But I do want to point out a solution like I just showed doesn't work unless it sits on top of all of the existing banking technology and infrastructure that exists today. So you still need to connect to the core, and you need to connect to payment systems and fraud systems and all of those things to make what I showed work. And that's where a company like Apiture comes in. So that was a vision, right? But it's just the beginning of a vision. That's still not where things are going to end up. So we can think about a future of API-enabled open banking relationships where a financial institution can finally truly become the center of its customers' financial lives. So a technology solution that allows the financial institution to become a real lifelong partner to its customers. Before I get into that, though, I think it's worth taking a minute to think about what do consumers and businesses really want from their financial institution. So they don't necessarily want, just another feature in the mobile banking app, or a more creative savings products, or a real-time core, or a video teller machine. What they really want is something much more basic than that. They want help maximizing their wealth. Help me maximize my wealth. So that might mean protecting the money I already have from fraud. That might mean making sure I've got the highest return investments or the lowest interest rate loans. It might mean firm but friendly spending controls or risk-based products. These are all banking products, but if I'm a consumer or a business, I don't necessarily understand those products, and I don't even really know what my options are. What I want my financial institution to do is help me maximize my wealth and just make it happen. So what if through technology, a financial institution really could just make it happen? So I'm going to run through a couple of scenarios, again, just to get you thinking and some food for thought, but here's an example. So what if I ask my financial institution, through whatever interface is most convenient for me, a very simple but important question. Hey, how am I doing today? And the example response from the financial institution is something like, everything looks good, all your bills are paid, your savings goals are on track, and by the way, I've been able to increase the amount you save every month because I moved your student loan to a lower cost provider. That is trusted, convenient, and effortless, which is what we're going for. So this conversation continues. Well, that's great. Is there anything I need to do? Nothing you need to do today, but you should know that your account information was stolen. But don't worry, we've taken care of the fraudulent transactions, we've notified the credit agencies, and we've already issued you new payment cards. Trusted, convenient, effortless. Here's another simple example. What if someone is thinking of starting a business, they reach out to their financial institution to ask for help raising capital to start the business? The response from the financial institution is something like, that's great. Most of the information I need to process your loan application, I already have in the vault that I maintain for you, the digital vault. But I will need some more specifics about your business. I'm going to send you some questions. Please respond whenever you get a minute. Trusted, convenient, effortless. Final example. What if somebody is toward the end of their working career and they're thinking about retiring? So they once again ask that really fundamental question, how am I doing? And the response from the financial institution is, well, good news. You can actually retire now if you want to, which is 3 years earlier than we planned together. Okay, that sounds risky. Well, by moving all of your investments to low-risk savings accounts, you will be able to comfortably meet all of your future expenses, something that I know about as your financial institution. And whenever you're ready to buy that retirement beach home, I can help you with the real estate and the tax and the insurance transactions. Trusted, convenient, effortless. So we're talking about a future where financial institutions, through an elegant technology solution, can become real partners to their customers, whether they're consumers or businesses. So we're talking about effortless financial planning. We're talking about expert, personalized advice, advice for me specifically. We're talking about optimized financial outcomes. So what I mentioned before, help me maximize my wealth. We're talking about timely, relevant product introductions. Tell me about a new product when it makes sense to me based on what's going on in my life right now. We're talking about hyper-tailored products, not mass-marketed products. We're talking about proactive fraud remediation. Identify and take care of fraud before I even know it's a problem. And I think what's most important, we're talking about business relationship aggregation. So through technology, the financial institution can become the center of all of the business relationships that its customers have. So we are, of course, some ways away from making this kind of a future a reality. The technology needs to continue to mature. Business relationships need to be established. And of course, consumers need to get comfortable with the technology. But financial institutions are the ideal partners to make this kind of a future a reality. And that's because throughout its history, the banking business has always been about trust and convenience. And even as we apply new modern technology, banks will still be about trust and convenience to build customer relationships. So at Apiture, we're working hard every day to make sure that our customers have the tools they need to grow their businesses today, but also helping make sure that they've got an eye on what's coming in the future. a feature that we're very excited about. If you want to learn more about what Apiture is doing in this space, please feel free to stop by our booth later today. Thank you.